Please be seated. Good afternoon, and what a gorgeous fall day in Vermont we have. And welcome to the White Coat Ceremony for the Lerner College of Medicine class of 2025. My name is Dr. Krista Tsela, and I am the Senior Associate Dean for Medical Education here at the Lerner College of Medicine. It is my pleasure to welcome all of you today, and we are especially grateful that we are able to host this event in person this year. I would like to extend a special welcome to our students, their guests both here with us today and those watching our live stream, and University of Vermont Provost Prelak, who's joining us today. Thank you, Provost Prelak. As well as faculty and staff who are joining us today to celebrate this important milestone for the class of 2025. Class of 2025, your White Coat Ceremony is intended as a formal recognition of your transition from aspirant to participant in clinical medicine. Your dean, officials of the healthcare system, and other respected leaders who represent the values of our college and the medical profession are here today to welcome you. Dr. Gold, founder of the White Coat Ceremony, believed the conferral of the white coat is a powerful symbol of the medical profession. The first White Coat Ceremony was held in 1993 at the Columbia University College of Physicians and Surgeons and quickly adopted by our College of Medicine because we recognized the value of Dr. Gold's vision and we supported his affirmation of the humanistic aspects of patient care, the call to the vocation of medicine, and the tremendous responsibility that students would be expected to assume as physicians. Today, your white coat will be placed on your shoulders by individuals who believe in your ability to carry out all the responsibilities your white coat represents. It is now my great pleasure to introduce the Dean of our Lerner College of Medicine, Dean Richard Page. In his tenure as Dean, he has led by example and embodies the core values you will hear about today that are so important to our profession and our patients: respect, kindness, cultural humility, teamwork, and a commitment to clinical care, research, and medical education within our community. It is an honor to serve under his leadership. Please join me in welcoming Dean Page.
It's nice to be able to smile at you all. Thank you, Dean Tsela. I'm delighted to greet all of you on this gorgeous afternoon as we celebrate this important milestone in the professional careers of the Lerner College of Medicine class of 2025. This is a really big day, and I'm so glad to be here with you after a year's hiatus back in beautiful Ira Allen Chapel. We're still wearing masks, and in-person guests were limited, but we've made great progress this year, and I'm gratified that through live stream technology, we have friends and family joining us from throughout the world. To the class of 2025, can you believe it's just been 8 weeks since you got here and we greeted you? The energy that morning is only exceeded by the energy that I'm feeling today as these students approach this milestone. After hours of classes and studying, and even a handful of tests, you've gotten much closer to becoming a doctor already, and today you'll take an important further step in that journey. If I may be totally open, I really like wearing a white coat. This coat makes me feel ready for work, ready to listen, ready to help, ready to heal, and sometimes ready to witness and provide comfort when that's all I have to offer. But in fact, you don't have to wear a white coat to be a physician, and in some specialties and environments, they're seldom worn. But our respect and reverence for this garment, for what it represents, should never be forgotten. Now, as you put on your white coat, you may feel a little different. And you may find that you're treated differently. People still respect doctors for what they do, and they respect them a lot. and they trust us with their stories, their secrets, their bodies. Our patients allow us to share their most private and personal moments. Wearing a white coat, you may notice even outside the patient room that you're afforded a level of respect that you've never experienced. People assume you're a doctor already, perhaps, even though you haven't earned that degree quite yet. Or perhaps they know that you're a student, and they're showing respect for what you've accomplished already and for the doctor you will become. So how should we respond to this sometimes the burden or the gravity of wearing a white coat? We must earn the right to wear it, and we must earn the right to wear it every day. When we put it on, either literally or figuratively, we must live up to the promise it provides. In a few moments, I'm going to lead you on the oath of our profession. My medical school class took the Hippocratic oath, and this scroll, signed by my dean, was the first item I hung up in my new office just about exactly 3 years ago when I arrived here at UVM. These oaths remind me and should remind you of the covenant we enter into as we become physicians. I would summarize what a white coat promises in a single word: professionalism. Now, professionalism is not what you wear, how you look, or where you're from. Professionalism is all about how you approach and treat the world around you and the patients who give you your trust. You should all now be familiar with the Larner College of Medicine Statement on Professionalism, which is printed in your programs. Developed by a diverse task force of students, staff, and faculty, our statement emphasizes our commitment to integrity, accountability, compassion, altruism, and social responsibility. We honor the trust that society has placed in us as stewards of the art and science of medicine, relying on cultural humility, kindness, and respect to guide our daily interactions. Just think of those three words: cultural humility, kindness, and respect. If we get those right, there's no limit to what we can do. If you keep these ideals of professionalism throughout your career, you will continue to earn the privilege of being a physician and indeed wearing this white coat. What's more, you'll experience the great joy and blessings of becoming the best doctor you can be. Now, before I close, I must acknowledge the special nature of the class of 2025. You're the first class of medical students in over a century to apply to medical school during a pandemic. It's been a tough year and a half now for everyone, and especially those on the front line of clinical care. You've witnessed the pandemic in real time. Nevertheless, you were not deterred. To the contrary, here you are, almost 2 months into a challenging curriculum and an uncertain future, ready to wear the mantle that symbolizes what is the greatest calling I can imagine. I'm very proud of all of you. Speaking of proud, none of us arrives at this point without the love and encouragement of others. I know there are many proud family members and friends watching today. I ask now that the class of 2025 stand and turn and face your family and friends behind you or online and show your gratitude with a round of applause. I can see the smiles through the masks. Please be seated. Now, at the Larner College of Medicine, our clinical affiliates, UVM Health Network and Nuvance Health in Connecticut, are vital partners in providing our students with a medical education that's second to none. And I'm so glad that representatives from both organizations are with us today. So it's now my pleasure to introduce Dr. Stephen Loeffler, Larner, class of 1990, and President and COO of the UVM Medical Center. Dr. Loeffler.
Thank you, Dean Page. Good afternoon, class of 2025. I am so honored to be on the campus with you today at my alma mater to celebrate this important milestone in your medical careers. I want to thank Dean Page and the faculty of the University of Vermont Lerner College of Medicine for the invitation and for all they're doing to prepare you, our next generation of physicians, during an unprecedented time, a time when your energy, skills, and dedication are needed more than ever. You are a class that truly understands change. You've had to be nimble to adapt to the changes brought on by the once-in-a-lifetime pandemic. The fact that you've been able to navigate your way here gives me great confidence that you'll be able to successfully manage the challenges of the rapidly changing healthcare that lies ahead. It's been more than 30 years since I sat where you are now sitting, ready to put on my white coat and start making a difference in the lives of patients and families. The biggest thing these past 3 decades, and especially the past 2 years of the pandemic, have taught me is the importance of staying open to learning. So even as you begin to plot your course towards the practice of medicine, my biggest hope is that you will always keep your learner's mindset. Take every opportunity, now and always, to learn from your mentors, from the members of your clinical and administrative teams, and especially from the people you care for. And maybe I can give you a couple simple things to learn from me today. 3 quick pieces of advice. First, always remember there is nothing more important than taking care of the patient right in front of you. It is a privilege to care for patients and families at the most vulnerable time of their lives. Make them the center of everything you do. Second, remember there's nothing more important than taking care of your own health and well-being. Now you might think I'm contradicting my first piece of advice, but finding a way to take care of yourself at the same time you care for patients will be critical to avoiding burnout and achieving success in work and life. And finally, understand that you're human, and you won't always have all the answers. Healthcare has become more and more a collaborative and team-based approach. So respect and support your colleagues and to learn to rely on your team. With that, on behalf of the UVM Medical Center, I want to welcome you to our team. We are so excited to work alongside you, to mentor you, to support you, and to learn with you. Thank you and congratulations.
Thank you, Dean Page and Dr. Loeffler. In addition to sponsoring the White Coat Ceremony, the Arnold P. Gold Foundation sponsors the Leonard Tao Humanism in Medicine Faculty Award, presented annually to a Lerner College of Medicine faculty member who best demonstrate the ideals of outstanding compassion in the delivery of care, respect for patients and their families and healthcare colleagues, and clinical excellence. It is my honor to introduce this year's recipient, Dr. Devika Singh, as our guest speaker for today's ceremony. Dr. Singh is an assistant professor of medicine at the Lerner College of Medicine and a clinical infectious disease physician at the University of Vermont Medical Center. Dr. Singh is accomplished in all 3 missions of our college: clinical research, teaching, and clinical care, focusing on experiences in HIV/AIDS, sexually transmitted diseases, and family planning. With a combined interest in clinical medicine and public health, Dr. Singh holds a medical degree and master's degree in public health from the University of Rochester in Rochester, New York, with a clinical focus in global HIV prevention in partnership with the Microbicide Trials Network. Her primary teaching role is with learners in undergraduate and graduate medical education within the clinical environment on general infectious disease topics, including HIV and AIDS. The following were comments shared in her nomination for this award. Dr. Singh offers kind and compassionate care to HIV-infected patients and to patients at high risk of HIV that confront tremendous challenges in trusting clinical care. Dr. Devika Singh is going above and beyond to serve our most challenging patients with HIV and doing an incredible job that is worthy of recognition. Dr. Singh has taken it upon herself to start going to our most complex HIV patients' homes to engage with them where they are at. Some of these patients are now on antiviral medication and receiving life-curing therapy as a result. Without her interventions, they would face a grim prognosis. I don't know where she finds the time, but I believe it is exemplary behavior as a physician. Dr. Singh is the epitome of humanism in medicine and a joy to her patients and colleagues. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Devika Singh.
Thank you, Dean Zala. Good afternoon, my students. Your medical career will be full of stories and sagas that strengthen your soul. There will also be stories that leave you feeling very quiet. You will be asked to wear a white coat. You will be asked to put on a mask. But I'm here to instruct you to take down your mask sometimes. Some things that you confront will force you to lean on this advice. I met a patient a few years ago that was diagnosed with HIV back in 1989. This was when she was living in New York City while she was pregnant. She gave birth to a baby boy that then died of AIDS at the age of 5. My patient has since then never been in another loving relationship. She explained to me how she was counseled on one contraceptive method: sterilization. Your path ahead will be full of stories that are hard to hear. You will listen and be humble and honor folks that see more struggle than you can imagine. And you will want to cry a lot and often, and that is okay, because I'm going to tell you, it's okay to take down your mask sometimes. A colleague of mine took care of a young man with congenital HIV. The patient grew up poor and in rural and isolated in Vermont. He managed handfuls of antiviral therapies several times a day, thanks to his very loving parents. But despite this love, he experienced enormous challenge with addiction. He grew weaker, thinner, paler, and he came crashing to our hospital, between our hospital and one in Boston, with complicated infections. He came back to us at the weight of 60 pounds and made the very difficult decision to stop all of his therapy to allow himself to die of AIDS. He was 31. Your path ahead will be paved with difficulty. You will face this path with fortitude and with fierceness. But there are times when you will stumble and you will slip, and that is okay, because you need to take down your mask sometimes. There was a woman named Kate. She was an audiobook narrator. And one day came a catastrophic rainstorm. Her recordings were in the basement of her home that was quickly flooding. She rushed to pull out of her equipment, but the water rose more wildly than she could anticipate. She became trapped in the basement, submerged underwater, until finally a crew pulled her out and transferred her to the local emergency department. Charlene, her partner of greater than 2 decades, frantically followed, but was stopped at the emergency department and asked, "Are you family?" She did not meet the technical definition of family and was told to wait until a blood relative would provide her permission to be with her dying partner. Your path ahead is full of medical injustice. You will confront this with many tools, your vision, your vigor. But there are times when medical injustice will overwhelm. That's another time when you need to take down your mask. Some of these stories ended with positive twists. Charlene Strong, partner of well-known audiobook narrator Kate Fleming, became one of the foremost LGBT advocates the state of Washington has ever seen. Her testimony and her activism brought legislation that acknowledged same-sex partnerships in the healthcare setting in Washington without dispute. I shared with you some of my powerful lessons, so many moments when I had to take down my mask, and you will have many of your own. As you sit here, you may be thinking, what's in your future? You will think you have so much to learn when you start your clinical training, and yes, that is true. Overwhelming curricula with abundant deadlines and expectations. And you may have many moments when you do not quite make your mark. But that's when you take down your mask and you go easy on yourselves and lean on each other and recognize your colleagues, each other as your best allies and advocates. One of the things that we're observing on a global scale is young people and young students literally saving our world. We're relying on them for our future. And one thing I've learned since my many years since medical school was that my best years did happen in medical school. This is your time to lead on agendas that demand social change. Nestle yourself in communities of need. And while we may teach you in classrooms and during problem-based learning sessions, do not necessarily look to your attendings to be models within medicine. Too many of us shuffle along with our heads held down in our medical paths, our masks fully covering our faces and experiences. We attendings are instructed to navigate a fee-for-service model of medicine and not one based on medical needs. We work within a medical marketplace that is more about ensuring hospital profits than enduring initiatives of wellness. We work within it and we lack a collective voice and instead spend decades steeped in medical burnout. My friends, our medical system needs some mending. Make your path, make it enduring, make it fulfilling, and make it meaningful. What we need you to do collectively as a medical community is stand up and stomp for change. You arrived here believing in stories that stir your soul. Do the work to make medicine better. We finally arrived where larger society is exploding with expressions of social equity. Medicine needs to arrive there too. Do not tolerate being witness to how some individuals, especially those that experience poverty, receive poorer medical care. Demand advocacy that tackles addiction and homelessness. Demand racial justice. Demand sexual justice, gender justice. Demand an end to HIV stigma. Demand a separation between reproductive rights and wrongs. I want you to speak your mind and march in force. And when things remain static, and I hope with you in charge, they won't. But when systems and structures sluggishly remain in place despite your every level of agitation, then I want you to push harder. Pull yourselves together again as allies and advocates. I want to see you organize, prioritize, perhaps even unionize towards medical justice and equity. We need you to lead, my students, and I will be the first to follow. And while you are doing all of these things, I want you to be sure to take down your mask sometimes.
Thank you, Dr. Singh, for those inspiring words. Maybe we'll just take a minute to pause and reflect on those. So students, in just a few moments, you will take to the stage to receive your white coats. So let me just take a minute to provide you with some additional information about the white coat and its contents. On the left collar of your coat is a Humanism in Medicine lapel pin supplied by the Arnold P. Gold Foundation. This pin is placed on your coat to remind you of the importance of fostering a culture of respect, dignity, and compassion for your patients and the professionals you will work with. In your left pocket, you will find a copy of the oath used by the Lerner College of Medicine. This oath, which emphasizes a holistic and compassionate approach to medicine, is adopted from the Oath of Lasagna, written in 1964 by Louis Lasagna, who was an American physician and professor of medicine. And now I would like to introduce Dr. Omar Khan to share with you a message from our alumni community. Dr. Khan is President and Chief Executive Officer of Delaware Health Sciences Alliance, also a 2003 graduate of our college, and current President of the UVM Medical Alumni Association. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Khan.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. I meant good afternoon, everyone. Much better. That's a nice Vermont fall welcome. Thank you, Dean Zala. Thank you, Dean Page. Thank you, Dr. Singh, for those inspiring words. Thank you, Dr. Leffler. It is an incredible honor for me to join you here today. Greetings, my friends, UVM Larner class of 2025. On behalf of all alumni of the college, I would like to welcome you to the UVM Larner College of Medicine family. It wasn't that long ago that my class and I were in your shoes. You may remember that you received a letter from me before you arrived, along with a book and a face mask to get you started on your medical journey. As you've heard already today from Dean Page and Dr. Singh, the face mask is actually a powerful symbol of the challenging times we are in, but also of the dedication that each of you show as physicians in continuing to care for our patients and community. For me, being with you today means speaking with you on behalf of our terrific alumni. In a way, many of them join me here today. In your right pocket of your white coats, you will find a card with a personal message from an alumnus of the Larner College of Medicine. When you receive them, your white coats, I hope you will take it out and take a look. We wrote these personal notes as much a reminder to ourselves as to you for the medical education and mentoring at the College of Medicine that we received and you will continue to receive as well. We welcome you to the larger UVM Larner community across the state, the country, and the globe. I would love it if you could reach out to your alumni mentor, and they, along with your faculty, your staff, your fellow students, are really part of your lifelong journey. I recall a fellow graduate of my class actually calling our anatomy professor, the late Bruce Fonda, even when my classmate wasn't attending, to remind him of the mnemonics and tricks we learned in med school. Now, I'm not saying you should call me from the exam room or from a delivery, but create those amazing relationships which will guide you and help you throughout your practice lifetimes. Larner alumni are the best and brightest in the country. They serve locally and globally in the community, in academia, in government, in policy, and in global health. They invest in you just like they invested in me. And we all want you to succeed as UVM-trained Larner physicians and researchers. As we welcome you as our future docs, I want to echo the words from my high school alma mater, the Quaker saying, "Let your lives speak." Congratulations to you all, my friends. May you enjoy a full career and a life of truth, service, and joy. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Khan. As we prepare to cloak the class of 2025, I would like to thank our Lerner College of Medicine faculty, staff, and students assisting us with today's ceremony, especially class of 2023 students, Nagar Esfandari and Kira Goodell, who are assisting us on stage. Thank you. Now I would like to invite Dr. Natalie Feldman and Dr. Mariah McNamara to the lectern. Dr. Feldman is the Associate Dean for Admissions and Director for the Learning Environment, and Dr. McNamara is an Assistant Dean for Students. Drs. Feldman and McNamara will be reading the names and hometowns of our students receiving their white coats today. Dr. Justin DeAngelis, Assistant Dean for Students. Dr. Ellen Kulaga, Assistant Dean for Students at our Connecticut campus. And Dr. Lee Rosen, Associate Dean for Students, will present students with their white coats. I would also like to invite Dean Page, Dr. Leffler, and Dr. Singh to stand and be the first to welcome you to the profession after receiving your white coat. Finally, I invite you, members of the class of 2025, to come to the stage when called to receive your white coat. Congratulations and welcome to the profession.
Arif Asan, Hillsborough, New Jersey. Lindsay Aldrich, Yorktown, New York. Clemens On, Niskayanu, New York. Bradley Anair, Bennington, Vermont. Pavan Ananth, Cheshire, Connecticut. Anais Antonesian, Sacramento, California. Anupama Balasubramanian, Westford, Massachusetts. Katie Barker, Burlington, Vermont. M. Battle, Charlottesville, Virginia. Jasmine Bazinet Phillips, Baltimore, Maryland. Shay Belimo, Lake Bluff, Illinois. Ty Bever, Pueblo, Colorado. Ellie Bradley, Quechee, Vermont. Jack Raitt, Mansfield, Massachusetts. Max Bridenstine, Houston, Texas. Caitlin Breyer, Coventry, Vermont. Luis Briones, Los Angeles, California. Seth Brownmiller, Medford, Massachusetts. John Burke, Rye, New York. Sarah Caffrey, Shelburne, Vermont. Jake Capiello, Essex Junction, Vermont. Jennifer Chan, Acton, Massachusetts. Adugo Chikezi, Millstone, New Jersey. Ashvi Chaudhary, Woodmere, New York. Bradford Clark, Colchester, Vermont. Olivia Darko, Yorktown, Virginia. Dennis Dia, San Francisco, California. Viha Do, San Diego, California. Olivia Domag, Sheldon, Vermont. Hannah Donovan, Groton, Massachusetts. Caitlin Early, Williamstown, Vermont. Audrey Evans, Encinitas, California. Charlotte Evans, Essex, Vermont. Michelle Falcone, Albany, New York. James Fanning, Sandusky, Ohio. Annabelle Feist, Williston, Vermont. Jordan Franco, Southington, Connecticut. Kate French, Pittsfield, Vermont. Stephanie Geiger, Wayland, Massachusetts. Luke John Gregorio, Winooski, Vermont. Annie Glesner Fisher, Montclair, New Jersey. Ben Glickman, Needham, Massachusetts. Callan Gravel Pochillo, Jericho, Vermont. Justin Henningsen, Brookings, South Dakota. Anirudh Hervey, Canton, Michigan. Anna Homick, Verona, New Jersey. Christine Horn, Corning, New York. William Su, Taipei, Taiwan. Nick Hutt, Burlington, Vermont. Jarna Genevieve, Phoenixville, Pennsylvania. Ryan Comcar, Irvine, California. Elizabeth Kelly, Shoreham, Vermont. Ryan Kelly, North Chelmsford, Massachusetts. Heather Kettlewell, Saratoga Springs, New York. Kelly Knight, Milton, Vermont. Zach Kramer, Lafayette, California. Dana Kramer, Anchorage, Alaska. Athmika Krishnan, San Diego, California. Casey Kruger, North Bend, Washington. Arashi Kumar, Providence, Rhode Island. Michael Lay, San Jose, California. Andrew Leckerling, Charlotte, Vermont. And now I'd like to welcome Dr. Mariah McNamara to the podium to call the remaining members of the class of 2025 to the stage to receive their white coats.
Thank you. Matthew Lapel, Massapequa Park, New York. Cassandra Little, Ellenville, New York. Jesse Lucas, Chicago, Illinois. Jai Lua, Los Gatos, California. Caleb Manus, Gresham, Oregon. Caitlin Marassi, Everett, Washington. Isabel Martinez Daniel, Providence, Rhode Island. Ellen Matz, New York, New York. Clara Maxim, Alameda, California. Tyler McGuire, New Haven, Vermont. Daniel Mitchell, Colchester, Vermont. Laciana Monroe, Danvers, Massachusetts. Hunter Myers, Catuit, Massachusetts. Chellam Nair, Altadena, California. Katie Nguyen, Parker, Colorado. Karina Nguyen, Union City, California. Kenny Nguyen, Hilliard, Ohio. Leland Nguyen, Huntington Beach, California. Tin Nguyen, Houston, Texas. Tom Notkovich, Walnut Creek, California. Elizabeth O'Neill, Holliston, Massachusetts. Brittany Palermo, Jericho, Vermont. Vanella Pandara Boina, Acton, Massachusetts. Nikki Parsa, Stamford, Connecticut. Diraj Patel, New York, New York. David Patlak, Underhill, Vermont. Annie Penfield Sear, Underhill, Vermont. Joanna Pierce, Essex, Vermont. Madeline Powell, Colchester, Vermont. Anthony Quach, Portland, Oregon. Marwan Ramadan, Forest Hills, New York. Virginia Ramirez, Miami, Florida. Karthik Ravichandran, Westford, Massachusetts. McLean Rich, Garden City, New York. Javier Rincon, Salem, Massachusetts. Faith Robinson, Poolsville, Maryland. Urabel Rosario, Bronx, New York. Angela Russo, West Greenwich, Rhode Island. Matthew Razemian, Cumberland, Rhode Island. Ashwini Sarathi, Lexington, Massachusetts. Gabriela Serrera Valentin, San Juan, Puerto Rico. Alec Schrager, North Bethesda, Maryland. Brian Shin, Mukilteo, Washington. Edward Simon, Fairfax, Vermont. Paige Song, San Jose, California. Sarah Sozin, Glen Cove, New York. Jared Stone, Albany, New York. Eric Stoutenberg, Lebanon, New Hampshire. Torrance Tang, Daly City, California. Rachel Thompson, Maynard, Massachusetts. Jennifer Toner, Long Valley, New Jersey. Sofia Toro Alvarez, Weston, Florida. Tyler Van Dyke, Grand Isle, Vermont. Dario Vanegas Betancourt, Miami, Florida. Richard Vaughn, Sale Creek, Tennessee. Ty Walker, Williston, Vermont. Hannah White, Catuit, Massachusetts. Greg Williams, Duxbury, Massachusetts. Jess Wynn, Grand Rapids, Michigan. George Zhang, Flushing, New York. Megan Joe, Acton, Massachusetts.
Thank you.
Now I'd like to invite Dean Page back to the lectern to lead our students and any physicians present in reciting the oath. Thank you.
Wow, y'all look great. I'm struck by the importance of traditions. Ira Allen Chapel, the white coat, and the traditional fist bump as you are greeted for the first time as you're joining our profession. Thank you, Dr. McNamara, and my thanks to Drs. Feldman, Rosen, Kulaga, and DeAngelis for participating in the cloaking ceremony. And now it's time to recite the oath of our profession as we celebrate this milestone with the Larner College of Medicine class of 2025. I invite the students to stand and retrieve their oath card from the left pocket of their white coats. I also invite any other physicians in attendance to stand as well to join us in reciting the oath together. This oath can be found on the back of the ceremony programs. Everybody ready? It's exciting, isn't it? We will say this together, so it's not back and forth. We'll all say it together, and I'll get us started. I swear to fulfill to the best of my ability this covenant. I will respect the scientific gains of those physicians and scientists in whose steps I will walk, and gladly share the knowledge, as is mine, with those who are to follow. I will remember that there is both art and science to medicine. I will pursue the expansion of my knowledge throughout my life for the benefit of my patients. I will practice medicine with conscience and dignity. I will respect the privacy of my patients and not judge them. I will prevent disease wherever I can, for prevention is preferable to cure. Most especially, I will tread with care in matters of life and death. If it be merely within my abilities to help erase suffering at the end of a life, may I face this awesome responsibility with humility and awareness of my own frailty. I vow always to act to preserve the finest traditions of my calling, and may I long experience the joy of healing those who seek my help. Congratulations, class of 2025. Okay, please be seated. It's an amazing thing, especially for us who have the privilege who get to be on this stage to watch these students walk in, looking like students. They could be studying anything. And now they look like doctors. I want to thank the family and friends who have joined us today in celebrating this important day. It's really a privilege for us to share today's milestone with all of you. Now, before the recessional, I want to provide a little bit of instruction for our students. After the processional, when you walk out, please stay on the steps of Ira Allen Chapel for a class photo. Family and friends, after the recessional, will you please exit the chapel over to the right, the doors on your right, and you'll get a chance to join the students outside after the picture is taken. In closing, thank you so much for joining us today, and congratulations again to the class of 2025.